Hello there, Internet people. It's your good buddy Rue here to, well, again, apologize for missing a week. I will say that looking at my YouTube stats, I'm not sure anybody noticed, but I am sorry that I wasn't here last week. It seems with holiday travel and a 6-month-old who has decided that sleep is for the weak, it's very difficult to convince wife that I should go hide out in the basement and talk about comic books with my internet friends. Women. So here we go. This is the promised show that focuses on the NuDC continuity and the books that I'm getting monthly since Flashpoint. And this is going to go in order from pretty good to awesome. We're going to start off with The Flash. In the pre-Flashpoint continuity, I was a Wally West fan. He was my Flash. To this day, I can't think of a long-running superhero comic book from the big two with a character that's not really going to, you know what I mean, like Spider-Man, Wolverine. Like, you're not really going to see lots of changes to these characters. I feel that his comic book that started in the 80s and ended a couple years ago was some of the biggest and most character development and growth that we've seen in a mainstream superhero in a very long time. That book should have ended with Jones's run. The people who came after that truly created a book that sucked, and I guess that's one way DC can get rid of a character they don't want anymore, is to put horrible writers on the book. But then I was not a big fan when Barry came back, and as I've mentioned before, I was really pissed off that book was as good as it was. But now since Flashpoint, where Barry Allen was the bad guy, and if you think about it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Even with all that there, it's very difficult for me not to at least try a book with the word Flash in the title. And so far, with the new DC, I haven't really been all that disappointed with this. Francis Manapul, let's pronounce that's how you pronounce his last name. It's Manapul. He is not writing a book that's a rehash of things that would be new and different in this continuity. Instead, he's writing a new story, and this first storyline called Mob Rule. It involves an old friend of Barry who, spoilers, I guess, break here if you don't want your spoilers, has been cloned, and his clones are being a bunch of dicks. And see, so they form this mob, and you see, it's a pun, I guess. It's actually a really good first story, and because this is an old friend of Barry's, we have a natural reason, a flashback to fill in some of the new continuity differences very naturally. It doesn't feel like it's taking you out of the story. And the next couple storylines, according to previews magazines, we're going to get like the new history of Keystone City and the one that's across the river, whose name I'm just blanking on right now. And if you're just looking for a good superhero book that's fun, you're not expecting high art, this isn't Alan Moore, this isn't anything that no one's going to look back in 10 years and make an absolute edition of this storyline. If you just want something that's fun, it's like, okay, I just want a superhero book, I'd recommend giving The Flash a look. You might be disappointed, I'm not going to stake my reputation on this, but I've had a good time reading it. One of the other books I'm picking up monthly is Justice League Dark. And anybody who has been watching me or hanging out with me online for a long time knows why I'm picking this up, and it's because I'm an unapologetic Constantine mark. And I missed out on Brightest Day because I have no money and it looks stupid. But Justice League Dark really piqued my interest, mainly because it's Peter Milligan. Yes, he has had quite a few misses recently when it comes to superhero books, X-Men and Flashpoint Secret 7, just to name a few. But his Hellblazer run has shown, at least to me, that he gets Constantine very well. And he also understands how magic can be used to move a story forward. So I really did have faith in this book. And so far, so good. In fact, to jump off Constantine's nuts here for a minute, this is actually the first time that I'm reading a book that involves Deadman, where I actually am beginning to care about the character. It actually kind of shows what it must be like to be this entity, this character, and how much his, well, lack of a better phrase, life must suck. I really am interested. I want to see what happens to him and everybody else. Beyond Deadman, beyond Constantine, Zatanna, Shade, the Enchantress, and all these other people are being written well enough that I want to know what happens next. And that, to me, is one of the important parts of entertainment. If you don't care what happens next in a serialized story, stop picking up the book. Stop watching the show. You don't care anymore, and that's fine. But don't Don't waste your own time and don't waste your own money. The structure of the story is such that you can see how the characters who started off far away, that they're going to come to a head. And I can't wait till that happens. I really like the idea of an all-magic team, especially made up of characters who don't really play well with others, and especially Shade, Constantine, and again Deadman. I really, really can't wait to see what's going to happen in this series. And finally, for my DC monthly books, is Batman. And if you're not reading this book, you suck. There's no other way around it. This is the awesome. Scott Snyder knows what is up, and he knows how to write Batman. From beyond his soon to be legendary run on Detective Comics, which the hardback just came out recently. It's called The Black Mirror, and that will definitely be my trade special. He knows how to write Batman as an action star. He can write Batman as a detective almost perfectly. But beyond that is the way that he's actually able to write Bruce Wayne as a character that matters. More often than not, at least in my opinion, Bruce Wayne is ignored. He's there just to kind of move the story forward during the daytime. But especially in this story arc with the Parliament of Owls and what's going on, Bruce Wayne is the focus, and Batman is there trying to save Bruce Wayne. And to me, that shows a much bigger understanding of what Batman and Bruce Wayne are about than we've gotten recently. And I have to say this also, Scott Snyder, through The Gates of Gotham mini that came out and finished recently, has created a very good character out of the city of Gotham itself. If you're reading All-Star Western, which my wallet won't allow me to do monthly anymore, you'll see how the creation of the Parliament of Owls in All-Star Western ties into Batman. You don't need to be reading both, but they complement each other very well. I cannot talk more about how good Scott Snyder's Batman is. The art is very complimentary. I will say that it's not Detective. The Detective Comics run he just finished had Jock, so we were kind of spoiled. But pick up Batman if you're not. If it's something you're trade waiting, I understand that. I'm trade waiting a couple books myself. It has to be top of your list. It is that good. Beyond, again, those 3 monthlies I'm getting, like I said, I'm trade waiting All-Star Western. I'm also trade waiting Demon Knights. I have read the first two issues of these comics, let's say, digitally. And I do recommend them as books to consider. It's still Jimmy Pavarotti, and that I'm drawing a blank here on who's writing All-Star Western, but it's just freaking awesome. And Demon Knights has been too much fun. Jason Blood and Estrogen. I'm going to give any story at least a try with those 2 characters. But that character? I don't know how you would pronounce that. But also, I'm going to say this to all my friends on the internet. You know what? Fuck you guys. Red Lanterns, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Superboy, and Teen Titans. These are all great books. Well, maybe not great, but fun, good superhero comics that if I have a good job when the trades come out, I'm definitely picking them up. Again, I've read these books. We're going to keep saying digitally. I will pick up the trades as soon as I can afford to, as soon as I have a good job. And on a completely unrelated note, is anybody out there hiring and could use a guy who likes comic books and has a master's degree? If so, there's a comment section wherever you're watching this. That's it for this week. I would quickly like to give a mention that Annihilators Earthfall. I didn't notice this in issues 1 and 2, but the art in issue 3 is some of the most god-awful art I have seen in a long time. Hold on. There's a scene here where it really does look like Valkyrie is taking a dump. I have no idea what's going on with these characters. Look at this Wolverine. Look at this. That is not good art. Sorry, dude, that sucks. But please, if you flip through these books in the comic book shop and decide not to pick them up because of the art, go back and get them. Abnett and Lanning, DNA, are doing a fantastic job writing these books, and Rocket and Groot's art is fine, and that story is always fun. Please don't let the art keep you from picking up these books. They're awesome, and they need to be supported because I want more of these. I want, when Marvel Cosmic comes back, DNA to have a place there. I think it's great. With regard to the trade special, I have about 5 trades to read, hopefully this week, before I can do that, and I'm going to do that as soon as I can. So that's it for this week. Have a good one. Later, peeps.